Welcome back to the MoChill Zone, and now more with Brandon Davis.
The very first time you appeared on stage, how'd you feel?
I was petrified.
And how'd you get through that? How'd you get through? How that experience? I've done it, so I know what you're.
How do you deal with stage?
Yeah, how'd you deal with it? How did you deal with it?
How do I deal with stage?
How'd you deal with that? No, at that time, the very first time you went out there.
God, I was like 16, 17 years old. I was playing in my high school band. Our set was "Don't Dream It's Over" by Crowded House. So I was probably 18.
Nice.
"Runaway" by Bon Jovi.
Okay.
And then, so we opened up with "Runaway." That had keyboards in the beginning, right? So I was like, all right, I can take a little breath here. And I was just playing rhythm guitar
Nice.
on that tune. And then everybody was so shocked that I could hit the notes in the out chorus that they were that's what got me through
whatever
that.
previous mistakes were totally forgiven. I love it. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I like to know that because that's that experience people can relate to. You know what I mean? Ever been. So thanks for sharing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, to paraphrase Janet Jackson, what have you done lately?
It's funny you should say that because in the business world, I always used to say Janet Jackson's my favorite philosopher. They go, well, I said, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect.
So I'm the music director over at River City Theater Company.
Okay.
So we just got done with the run of Chicago. Those kids are amazing.
I think that was awesome too.
Oh, it was, yeah. They just...
Are they high schoolers?
Yeah, it's
nice.
probably 13 to 18.
Okay.
Okay. That era. But the respect I have for them is, especially in the high school years, everybody looks at the football team and the basketball team, right? And they're like, those kids put in the work.
Yeah.
Oh no, these kids put in way more work. The dances they learn, and it's 8 or 9 weeks is what they have to put this together. And I'm like, that's a sports season.
Yeah.
Only they're here,
all the time.
Long hours.
Yeah, absolutely. They're
putting up a show is not easy.
No, it really isn't. So I will tell you a funny story about shows. You will appreciate this having been backstage. Have you seen the Book of Mormon yet?
No, I have not.
You have not.
I know.
Okay.
Every time it's come, it's just something hasn't worked out. I want to see it. I know some of the tunes.
Okay, so I'm gonna ruin one part of it for you, and I'm gonna say a bad word.
I've had time.
But, okay, and I'll say a bad word. You might have to bleep. But in the opening scene of the second act, everybody is wearing strap-ons. Okay,
Wow.
The entire cast, and they're doing this whole dance and they're singing this song, and I am sitting there, and I'm laughing way too loud.
Yep.
And it was just like, I was absolutely taken back by it, and it was hilarious and everything. So I was trying to explain to my girlfriend later why I was laughing so hard, and she's like, yeah. I said, let me paint the scene for you. Some 22-year-old girl gets out of college, theater arts major, and gets offered her first job in theater as the props manager for a traveling play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And you're like, okay. So then you read the script and you find out that you need 12 strap-ons. They literally are going to have a meeting about this and be like, so do they need to be different colors? And then the girl's like, well, do I need backup strap-ons? Do these break? Right? But you think about all the plays that we've done, and I'm just watching these people and I'm thinking, there's some poor college girl back there who is
her sole job is strap-on procurement.
I was like,
wow.
and she's like, her parents are so proud of her, and she's like, God, if they only knew what I actually do.
Yeah, that's theater.
And then so I just, I can't even remember the song. I was laughing so hard as I'm just thinking about this poor young person in their first job in theater. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
that's great. That's great. So besides that, you're also doing your own music?
Yes.
Which is great. I love the crazy song.
Oh yeah. So
you want to talk about that? Talk about the song? Yeah.
Sure. So please don't be crazy.
Please don't be crazy.
Or don't be crazy. But the chorus is please don't be crazy, please don't be mean. But it all came about this is something I do actually have in common with Frank Zappa, even though I don't belong in the same sentence with him. But I can have very, very little things that happen in my life and expand them to big things.
Oh,
You know?
nice.
So we're having this discussion. My office is like the size of this room, maybe a little bigger, and there's like 4 of us that work in here and different.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of crosstalk going on all the time and things like that. And one of the weird discussions that happens is, what is the most insane thing you've ever heard from somebody after having sex? Okay.
I didn't think about that one.
Right? So you think about that for a minute,
Yeah.
right? And they're all like, well, he said this and she said that and everything like that. And I just kind of chimed in. I was like, please don't be crazy. And they're like, no, what was the, I was like, that's what they said.
To you.
Like, yeah, he just leaned over and stroked my hair and looked at me all, please don't be crazy. You know?
That's hilarious.
And
maybe thought about that one before.
I was driving home and I was like, I need to get into my studio when I get back home. 'Cause
Nice.
That's kind of funny.
Nice.
And then the other tune that I sent you, so I don't know. I've
These
had
Streets Breathe or this.
These Streets Breathe.
Yeah.
So
That was cool too.
especially after what we've just been through with the election and things like that. I actually wrote that, I think, in 2015 or 16, and,
Wow.
and he was just, Donald Trump was just coming up. He just came down the escalator for the first time and everything. And I have family back I still have family back in New York, but I would be back like once a quarter to visit. And so I'm going through Jamaica Station in Queens. Which one of the most incredible things about our country, if people don't know, is you can get from Sacramento all the way to New York and never need to be in a car. You can get all the way to New York on public transportation.
Sure.
And all the way out to Long Island.
It's crazy. It is. You're
when
right.
you think about it,
Yeah.
But you can take a bus out to the airport. You can take, JetBlue's going to take you right to JFK, SkyTrain over to Jamaica, and now you're on the subway going wherever you want. It's pretty incredible. But the presidential nominee at the time was doing what he does, which is just talk a bunch of crap about America and about where he came from in Queens and stuff like that. The picture on the front of that song is what's known as the 5 Points, which is now gone.
Oh yeah, in Lower Manhattan.
No, wasn't that Queens?
No, it was the boroughs, right?
Yeah.
5 boroughs.
What,
So,
the five?
No.
Where the rabbits were, the dead rabbits.
No,
Okay,
the
this is
5 Points is just if you go look at the picture, it's this apartment building and turned into a whole complex that was nothing but graffiti, and it just turned into this mural of New York. You know, very, very much.
That's
so.
cool.
Nice.
So, I missed my train at 8 o'clock. So instead of just sitting around in Jamaica Station for 3 hours waiting, and they have no good restaurants in Jamaica by the train station, I just got out and was like walking around, and I was like, I wish people would see this. Instead of what people talk about, like, oh, that's such a dirt hole, and this, that, and the other thing, and it's like, but did you ever, get to know the people,
for sure,
running around and things? So that's where that's
unlikely.
highly unlikely.
So
I mean, Jamaica's not too far from JFK, right?
No, it's 10 minutes.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean we came into to Newark and came over.
Okay.
I think we might have Ubering the first time.
No,
we took the tram. I know we took the tram back from Manhattan.
it was the cab.
Cab, yeah.
The cab there. Remember, because we didn't know we were going.
We got a cab.
They don't have it anymore, but there was a JetBlue red eye.
I remember my buddy used to always take that.
Yeah, I would leave Sacramento at 11 o'clock at night and just get on the plane and go to sleep, and I would wake up in New York at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Absolutely.
I love that. We had it straight though. We weren't straight there though, did we?
No.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Going there, we did because we would watch movies.
Oh.
We didn't have no layovers nowhere.
Okay.
I didn't leave. I watched movies and I slept. Okay, that's what I did. I had extraordinary time just relaxing.
Oh yeah, on the way back, mine wasn't. I think I had to take a connecting on the way back.
Oh, okay.
Not me.
I extended my trip so I could go to the 50th anniversary hip hop show in the Bronx.
Okay.
They had like Cool Herc and everybody there, and then like just pretty much everybody who was anybody. Run DMC closed at like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
And like,
See, the Bronx was rap and hip hop, and Brooklyn was that was rock and metal.
oh,
So
okay.
so you know, Grandmaster Flash and Run DMC and everybody came out of Queens and the Bronx and you know,
Yeah.
that area, and Brooklyn's where L'Amour's was.
Okay.
And where all the rock clubs, and that's where Living Color came out of. That's
Oh,
where
okay.
King's X came out
Yeah.
of.
Gosh.
Method Man, she was Method Man come out of there too?
No, he's from what should we
Staten?
call it? From Staten.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all from Staten.
Yeah.
We did the Staten Island Ferry.
Nice.
Of course.
Okay, yeah.
It's the best view of free view of the Statue of Liberty I think you can get.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody's ever in New York, do the Long Island Ferry. It's free.
When you ask somebody from New York.
Oh, you know, he gonna give it away now. They gonna be like, we gonna start charging now.
Yeah,
there you
Right. No, when you ask somebody from New York, you know, how to get to the Hard Rock Cafe, how to get to the Statue of Liberty, how to get to the Intrepid, like none of us know. Like we did school field trips to that stuff. Like that's
that's
like,
about it.
That's
it's
what I
like
know.
Sutterford here.
Exactly. Where's Sutterford? I don't know.
Yeah, it's somewhere in Midtown.
Well, that's where Fairy Tale Land at. Fairy Tale Land. Remember
Oh,
that?
yeah,
Fairy Tale Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta have a kid to go there now. Apparently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
People were acting a fool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you playing in any other bands right now?
No, right now I'm not. Me and a couple of friends of mine, we had a cover band years ago called One Headlight, and we had a lot of fun with that. Dave was the lead guitar player for.
Were you doing Savage Garden stuff?
No, we played. What did we play? We played a Stone Temple Pilots.
Okay.
Just a lot of that stuff,
Sure.
and
Nice.
we had a lead singer for a while, JT, that was from a Sacramento band, Self Against City,
Okay.
and then Eddie from Bloody Andrew Jackson was our lead singer for longer than JT, probably 2-3 years of that before we finally disbanded. Yeah,
For sure.
yeah, he does. And he's got a new band out now.
I think I've seen that on.
Yeah, so I'm gonna forget the name of the band, but
Gotta talk to him, get him on here.
absolutely, most
I haven't
definitely.
seen him in years either.
Yeah. If you ain't got no band now, you can play with us. We got some stuff
we're
coming
gonna
up,
have
so
some
you know.
stuff.
All right.
Yeah, man. You know, so.
No,
See.
I need to get back to the point what I don't do. I think I'm a good collaborator, but I haven't collaborated in so long that I'm not sure. You know, I do miss the days where like you come into a studio with nothing but like a riff. And you leave with a song.
Of course.
For sure.
You know,
For sure.
and for me, like I go into the studio with the riff, and then I make a pot of coffee, and then it takes 5 days.
Mhm.
You know, it's like
trust me, man.
Long
you
process,
know,
for sure.
and just to have like, the last time I collaborated with somebody was like a long time ago, and he sent me this song, and he was coming out a couple months later, and he's like, just listen to this, and I just asked him, I was like, have you ever tried to finish this song from the bass? You just pick up a bass instead of, and he's like, no. So we laid down some tracks, and then I was like, all right, let me show you what I have in mind. And I just picked up my fretless bass and I started playing like running 16th notes.
Okay.
Old boy was like throwing shit around the studio. He's like, that's
it.
That's
it.
That's the part of collaborating that I miss with
For
people
sure.
when you see people get super excited, like,
that was missing. That
that's
was what I wanted. I didn't know that. I wanted.
Right, I didn't know.
You
know. And the other thing, like, about collaborating is just coming in, like, I've had this concept that I've wanted to do for a while, where we all know all these, like, and we should talk about doing this. We all know these people that are like super talented, right? I would like to walk into a studio with a song just on guitar. Just be like, here's my song. It's 3.5 minutes long. Here's the chorus and everything like that. And then you play bass, and then you're gonna play some keyboards, and somebody else is gonna play drums on it, and it's almost like you get to unwrap this present. It's probably not gonna end up how you thought it.
For sure,
Right.
for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But it might be the best song ever.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, and it just, you know, it's trusting somebody enough to just be like, hey, you got this. Let's just hammer this out.
Nice.
So I would like to put that together where
That'd be
like
cool.
people come in.
Yeah.
I'm down with that because
You are?
I have a solo because we have a group and then we have a solo project we're doing.
Okay.
I have a solo project coming out, and I want a compilation of all different artists and different people working with different people.
Mhm.
So that was the purpose of the whole album. It's the struggles and like different things that people go through, but I want every different input on each song.
Right.
So I want
and it's
something
that,
feature different people.
that idea of like, okay, here's my song, and
Right.
you'd be like, okay, so we're not gonna sing the second verse. We're gonna do an instrumental through half of it, and then I'm gonna rap double time. Exactly what you said, but I would never think of that, you know, or anything like
Right.
that, or just to be able to look, and with kind of going back to, you know, really weird musical influences. The Grateful Dead did most of American Beauty in their living room with one microphone.
Yeah.
Which is
So
awesome.
wild.
Like,
So
like
good.
they
It's
just,
really wild.
or there's another album that you can listen to. It's the original Nitty Gritty Dirt Band called "Will the Circle Be Unbroken," and it's all traditional bluegrass and stuff.
I love that song.
But you hear guys like talking between songs, and they're
Cool.
like, and they're just standing in a studio with one dish mic between them, going, "Okay, yeah, you want to play Soldier Joy now? Okay, cool. What in D? You know?" And then everybody just kind of contributes as they see fit, and they end it when they feel like it. And it was such a brilliant album.
Magical. Wow.
It was-
Nitty
Nitty
Gritty
Gritty Dirt Band.
May the circle be unbroken. By and by, Lord, by and by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love that song.
So, what are you doing with yourself lately?
Well, you know, I got my day job, but then we have our production company, MoChill Productions,
Yeah.
and then we're on the MoChill Zone podcast.
No, but I saw you put out an EP. You had some funky stuff.
Yeah, that's
put out a-
that's
yeah,
Larry and
yeah,
I.
this
That's
guy,
Larry
right?
and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is
So
him.
that's the. He doesn't like the credit, but yeah, we go by MoChill. That's basically our name. Our names. My name's Chilly, nickname, and his nickname's Motz. So it's the two put together.
Okay.
So MoChill's our group name, and then MoChill Productions is our production company.
Is your production company?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Thank you, and
But
we love. We're trying to do more shows, live shows, and get kind of like a steady group of folks together.
Okay.
So like that some will pay for. We're trying to do big. So
Very nice. You know, everybody that you admire, not everybody, but a lot of the people you admire in music, or that you looked and you're like, they made it, they paved their own way. You know, like
For sure.
Twisted Sister,
oh yeah,
those dudes used to rent the amphitheater themselves. Like they would go
Wow.
and they would rent out Harlow's, you know, or whatever
we
the
rented
club
out a
was.
place for ourselves.
Right,
too.
and then they went out and hustled and sold some tickets,
Wow,
and then
okay.
everybody was just like, "There's 1,000 people
That's
down
cool.
at this place, so there must be something to it." And before you know it, they're the Twisted Sister that we know.
Wow.
Kansas
yeah.
is another band that.
No way.
that- oh
Okay.
yeah, they just used to run around and they would just. One time they were so desperate to get an audience, can't make this up. They renamed their band Free Beer. Okay, for the night, because they thought there was going to be some promoter there. And
Carry
sure
on
enough,
my wayward son.
as-
There'll be beer when we are done.
There you know, I love reading all about
That's
these
cool.
stories.
Yeah,
too,
yeah, that's
you know.
awesome.
It is awesome.
I like the DIY stuff too, like the punk rock.
Yeah.
So if like reading NoFX's book. You ever heard of NoFX?
No.
They're great. They were like a LA punk band, and they like went through that whole '80s hardcore punk scene.
Yeah.
And it's just wild. Like it was all DIY. They're going on the road, going like 35 people in a show if they're lucky, and like
Yeah.
spitting on them and like beating them up, and like like it's crazy what those dudes went through.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
those hardcore punk bands in the 80s, like just the mom and pop ethos.
Yeah.
I kind of dig that stuff. Like
We're getting back to that. We really are. There's a band,
Yeah.
I think they're out of the Bay Area, a female bass player fronted, called The Beginners.
okay,
Oh my God, look them up on Instagram. They're
Okay.
they're like, it's kind of that I'm in your face and I'm not leaving kind of rock, and
Love
you're like, there's nothing super complicated here, but I couldn't have thought of that.
Right.
You know.
yeah.
Those are the songs that drive me nuts. But
yeah.
I love me some Yes and Kansas and
Yeah.
King Crimson and all this complicated stuff.
Yeah.
But when you hear John Denver and you're
Yeah.
just like, I can play that while he's singing it, but I never would have thought of that. And
Yeah.
God, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
You're just like, why didn't I think of
There
that?
is,
you know?
there's brilliance and simplicity.
Oh.
I think that's what we're losing today in our online guitar culture, at least. Just everybody wants to solo and do the glamming thing for the subscribers, but like, I mean, I hear everybody talking about rhythm guitar.
Yeah.
Like, do you have an opinion on that? Like, rhythm guitar and acoustic guitar. You know, like, I started out that way, and a lot of kids aren't starting out that way. And
If I asked you to hum any Angus Young solo, you probably couldn't.
yeah,
But if I asked you to hum the riff for Back in Black, it's instant.
yep,
Or Wayward Son. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Like, that's all anybody cares about.
for sure.
Like, our little doodly doodlies. You know, but the thing...
So shout out to Malcolm, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the thing that I look at is like, what makes Jeff Beck and Steve Vai and Joe Satriani is they didn't forget to write good songs.
Right. It's
Mhm.
important.
You can hum any Steve Vai melody.
Yeah.
Okay. The solo gets into
Yeah.
but down 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 down
Yep.
right, and it's a very hum, and you know who picked up on that to me is Polyphia.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What a
They are
monster. Yeah.
They play gymnastic guitar
Yeah.
parts, but they still give you a hook and a melody that you don't lose interest in.
Yeah.
I can't sit and listen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, play
You
a
gotta have
whole note,
something.
dude.
Yeah.
Like,
For sure. I mean, and more than that, just like you're talking about riffs. you know,
Yes.
But like, what about like nice chordal playing and like acoustic guitar playing, like as opposed to, people starting out just playing their power chords. You
Yeah.
think there's
So, John Denver is a way better guitar player than anybody ever gave him credit for. It reminds me, like, Roy Clark wrote this thing. Glenn Campbell's another
yeah,
one.
yeah.
Like,
Oh,
just
killer.
what a
Yeah.
what a beautiful acoustic player.
Yeah.
Roy Clark wrote back when stars used to write little liner notes on the back of albums. He wrote this thing. He said, "Glenn Campbell is one of the finest guitar players I've ever met in my life. Unfortunately for him, he has such a nice voice, he will never be known for his guitar playing." You know, and that's like, James Taylor,
Yeah.
John Denver,
Yeah.
these guys, they are monster guitar players.
Yeah.
But they also have just these beautiful voices that's what 99% of them. And then there's us geeks sitting in the back of it,
Yeah.
going, "Dude, you see that? Oh my
Yeah,
Lord,
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
can play that but him."
For sure. For sure.
The other 98% of the audience is listening to that gorgeous voice.
Yeah, and I mean, even we're the dying breed, the geeks, even amongst guitar players. Because I just see so much the and like they couldn't even respect like a finger picked part,
Right, it's where it is, and what's the origin of the origin? Like Zach Wilde. He's a great example of somebody who can play any hard riff you want to play. He's gonna nail it.
Oh yeah.
But he can also play "Mama, I'm Coming Home." He can also
Yeah.
write that.
You've got to have both sides if you're gonna play for Ozzy, right?
Absolutely.
For sure. For
And
sure.
shout out to the Sacramento band Tesla.
Yeah.
There's another band that just they are way better guitar players than they were ever given credit for. They have really, really solid songs and things like that, you know, but there was, and you know, Frank Hannon made the cover of a couple magazines, but not nearly as many as he should have. You know?
I was actually sitting next to him on a plane once.
Really?
Yeah, he was just like looking at guitars, and I was like, ooh. Like on his, like he had the internet, so he was looking at guitars on his laptop. Like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Like he was like, I think he was looking at Kramer's or something.
Yeah.
And then like we got to talk. He's like, yeah, I play guitar in this band called Tesla. Like super, like oh, cool, man.
Yeah.
Super nice guy, just like unassuming.
That's very, very much so.
We bumped into him before back in the day at Paradise Studios.
Oh yeah, he used to be in Paradise Studios a lot.
Yeah.
That is something, you know, that I miss. You remember walking...
Shout out to you, by the way, Kurt and Craig, by the way.
Yeah.
You remember walking into a studio back in the day and just the hardwood floors and the soundboard room and you know, I mean, it was like, you were paying for it too.
Yeah,
It was,
yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
a couple $100 a day. I mean, there was bills.
Yeah.
You know, but there's something kind of magical about that where you're like, oh, I better step up. Like this this just got real.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
You know,
it's like it's no time to joke around now.
Right, whereas we dork around in our bedrooms and stuff and
Yeah.
it doesn't work. We just go back to, you know, making more coffee and being like,
sure.
all right, here we go, you know.
For sure. You're not on the clock in your bedroom or in our studio.
Yeah.
I am.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, you're not paying for it.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that, that, you know, the dread of overpaying. Like, if I don't get this,
the hour, we're not
if I don't,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not going to say which guitar player, but I heard a legend of an 80s guitar player, you know, insert name here because they were all as decadent as could be. But anyway, he went on a drug-fueled, you know, Coke and Jack Daniels binge for like 3 days in the studio and recorded for 3 days straight. Had the engineers, they were all sitting there and they were in there and just exhausted while this guy just over and over again. He went home, he slept for like a week because, you know,
Of course.
it was the 80s.
After that,
He woke up and he went back to the studio and there wasn't like 30 seconds of tape he could use. He's like, I felt so bad. I was driving around Southern California all day to everybody's house going, dude, I'm really sorry. Dude, like,
Wow.
I'm really sorry I did that to you.
Wow.
You know?
Hopefully you have a label paying for it.
Right. You would hope so, but I mean, I just thought, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
The drugs don't make you better, kids.
Yes.
No, they 100%. There's a couple people that maybe it did.
Yeah.
But
You're not them.
I am not them.
Well, no, I wasn't
Absolutely
saying
not.
you. I was just talking to them. You're not them, so don't try.
I've joked around with people for decades. I would rather drink and fly the space shuttle than drink and play guitar. Like, I just feel like my coordination goes to shit and I'm terrible. And even if I'm not, you know how you're like, I'm gonna make a mistake, I'm gonna make it, and then you do it, and it seems like it takes a half hour while you're screwing up.
And then you gotta remember everything and things that are going on. If you have parts of singing, it's kind of difficult.
I like a little, like maybe a drink or two to just take off the edge.
Yeah.
But not like drunk. No. Like
I could not even imagine it.
Yeah.
You know.
I saw My Chemical Romance. Sorry to throw you guys under the bus if you're listening. That Warped Tour, I've heard they've gotten a lot better, but man, they were just sloppy drunk.
Really?
And it
That's
just
too
wasn't
bad.
good. It's disappointing.
I think I'll leave you with one last story. One of my favorite stories to tell is me auditioning for a rhythm and blues band in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Okay. So, 22-year-old me gets called. I was doing some studio work, you know, just trying to make a buck here and there, playing jingles and stuff. And somebody said, this rhythm and blues band is looking for a new lead guitar player. Rhythm guitar player is the singer. He was, oh my God, he was fantastic. Again, back to, you know, this all goes full circle. I got a bluegrass guitar player for a dad and an opera singer for a mom. Please trust me, I wasn't listening to a lot of B.B. King.
Oh no.
Okay. Right?
Wow.
So, they they put the set list out, and I was like, I'm gonna do Help the Poor. I'll do Help the Poor. I'll do Talk to My Daughter, and I think Born Under a Bad Sign.
Nice.
Okay. And by the time I was halfway through Talk to Your Daughter, I had the gig.
Okay.
Okay. By the time I was halfway through Born Under a Bad Sign, I was petrified they were going to ask me to play another song, because those were the only 3 R&B songs I knew at that point. That was it. I was like, I'm going to extend this guitar solo until the set is over if I think they're going to ask me to play again. And luckily they didn't, and then I went home that weekend and my fingers were bleeding while I learned,
Just
40 R&B songs. But yeah, you're asking me about the terror of playing on stage, the terror of being asked to stay up for one more song. I was like, oh God, please no.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Take it from the top. We want to hear something new, man. We want something new.
Oh my God, that was just, yeah. I was vibing with the band. Everything's going great. And the thing was, I mean, they were auditioning guitar players at a club in front of people. Wow. They're just like, hey, and we were all just going up to sit in with the band.
Gotcha.
I forgot that part of the story. Yeah. Wow. So the audience is out there. We're all having fun. And I'm going, God, please don't have them say, let's stay up here for a minute.
Yeah.
What songs you know? You're like, I'll get right back to y'all.
It's usually like a 1, 4, 5.
Absolutely.
That's the saving grace.
Saving grace, 100%.
Well, Brendan, we appreciate you coming on, man. It's great to see you.
Oh
my God,
where can they catch you? Where can they get you?
Find me on YouTube. Brendan Plays Guitar, or on Instagram. Same handle.
Same handle.
Absolutely, and
we'll post that in.
100%.
For our viewers on YouTube, that'll be.
And you hear the songs out. We'll go ahead and play that also.
We're gonna do a couple other ones. Unless you want those played again.
No, those are great. But yeah, I've got some other stuff on there that
cool.
That would be awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
All right,
Appreciate
thank you.
Pleasure meeting you, man. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's been great.
Thank you for listening to episode 26 of the MoChill Zone podcast. We strive to bring you inspiring, unique, and entertaining stories. We hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Follow MoChill Productions on Instagram and Facebook for announcements of all our episodes' online release dates.